from the station that's working for you. You're watching Fox 4 News at 6.
The cleanup of a smelly mess continues on the plaza right now.
A truck was hauling used cooking oil. It turned over and spilled into Brush Creek. It happened this afternoon near Roanoke and Ward Parkway, and Fox 4's Shannon O'Brien is there with an update.
Well, first of all, thank goodness that there is no such thing as smell-o-vision, because you two would go running, screaming out of the studio, and our viewers would certainly tune out. This smell here is so gross. This used cooking oil smells so bad. And imagine there was a truckload of it. Let me show you where that truck was, up here on the bridge on Roanoke by Ward Parkway. It's not there anymore, but right there is where that truck overturned, spilling its entire load of used cooking oil. Firefighters have done an awesome job cleaning this up. You can see they're still at it right now. Most everyone knows what a pain it is to clean any sort of oil, like out of, I don't know, your kitchen sink or something. But imagine having to get hundreds or thousands of gallons out of Brush Creek. Now look at the spill as it is right now and compare it to this a few hours ago when we first got here. Some of the used cooking oil made its way downstream, but firefighters were able to catch a good amount of it using buoys and special grease vacuums to trap the grease left on the surface of the water. The roadways are also a mess. Soak pads and gravel-like sand soaking up most of what spilled on the streets. Restaurants typically keep used cooking oil in a holding tank, then sell it to be recycled. Sarah Schwalm knows the process and the smell well after growing up working in her family's restaurant.
When it's sitting in that tank, it actually becomes pretty rancid, and it's really gross because you're also getting the smell of all the cooked fries and chicken and onion rings and whatever else that you're cooking.
Now, even the poor geese who live here have gotten all smelly and covered with oil. You can see they don't even like it too much. So we go from the geese to the firefighters. Look at that fireman. He is down in that greasy, gross water. So not only do these guys run into burning buildings to help us, they also dip themselves in stinky used cooking oil. Oh my gosh, I can't imagine how horrible that must have been. Now, fire officials say there is no danger to the public with this grease spill. The guy that was driving the truck, though, he is in the hospital. I've been told that he is suffering from non-life-threatening injuries. Now, stay away from the plaza, by the way, because the roads are closed and the traffic has become a huge mess. Shannon O'Brien, Fox 4 News, working for you live on the plaza.
Shannon, thank you very much. A warning is out tonight to homeowners about sharks. That's a nickname for unlicensed, uninsured roofing companies that can't insure their work. Fox 4's Sean McDowell is working for you live in Grandview with homeowners who feel uneasy about their investment. Sean?
Phil, what's more, those sharks that you're talking about, the contractors, well, they usually don't insure their work because they're usually uninsured. And if they're hurt on the job, they can actually sue the homeowner since they typically don't carry workman's comp insurance either. Cities like Grandview are cracking down to try to help homeowners.
We definitely take care of our property. We love this place.
Kim Boykin and her family had a cleanup job on their hands. Storms in early March left her roof missing some shingles.
Sound the alarm.
She hired a roofing crew she found using, and the roofer assured her he was licensed.
We were quite disappointed.
But he wasn't, and a building inspector with the city of Grandview saw it all. The roofer doesn't have a building license and can't insure his work.
They said they deal strictly and only with the insurance company. And so we kind of felt uneasy about that.
Found this one, seemed to be good.
The same shark put a roof on Geneva Hudson's home next door. He hadn't purchased the city's $35 roofing license for each.
To have to go through something like this to deal with somebody that's underhanded.
Grandview building inspectors say they've caught dozens of roofing crews working without licenses. That means they'll be inspected and required to disassemble the roofs they've built for inspection.
They go onto the internet and they find these contractors.
Scott Carr warns homeowners to ask for up-to-date licenses. He's been a Grandview City building inspector for 11 years and says owners are at risk because those crews don't carry workman's comp insurance, meaning if they're hurt at your home, they can sue you.
If we don't have some type of insurance certificate on file or some type of person that we can deal with, the homeowners have no recourse if there is a leak in their roof. So we want to know who's out there. We want to know who's out in our neighborhoods, who's walking door to door.
Residents in Raytown are also having trouble with this problem. Both Boykin and Hudson told me that if they could do this over again, they wish they dug a little deeper for more information about the contractor that they had hired. Scott Carr, the inspector you met in that story, says homeowners are always welcome to call their respective city's inspection office to inquire to see if their contractors are licensed and insured. Sean McDowell, Fox 4 News, working for you live in Grandview, Missouri.
Sean, thanks for that. There are new developments in the case of a once missing Metro woman whose SUV was found burned. Kyler Yost is charged with arson in the burning of Jessica Runyon's vehicle. Runyons was last seen leaving a party with Yost last September. Authorities have identified her remains found in Cass County earlier this month. Now Kyler Yost's half-brother, Jessup Carter, is charged with resisting a traffic stop. Lauren, would you take this?
Sure. Phil's going to get a drink here. The traffic stop was the day police found Runyon's abandoned SUV back in September. Police say that Yost was in the car at the time. In other news, Kansas City police are hoping some surveillance video is going to help them find the guy who robbed a Kansas City Jimmy John's restaurant. This happened last night at the Jimmy John's near 39th and Broadway in Midtown. Police say a guy went up to the counter to place an order and pulled a gun. There it is. The employee gave the guy some money from the register and the man took off. So they're looking for the guy in the blue sweatshirt there in the video and the baseball cap. No one was hurt. New tonight, the family of a Missouri girl who was kidnapped and murdered has reached a settlement in a wrongful death lawsuit. 10-year-old Haley Owens was killed in Springfield in 2014. Her family's now reached a settlement for an undisclosed amount of money with the suspect, Craig Michael Wood. He's still scheduled to go on trial for the crime later this year.
My apologies for earlier. Relatives are having trouble coming to grips with the death of a 26-year-old woman from carbon monoxide poisoning as she sat in her SUV. Carolyn Williams had parked outside a Walmart store near the Legends in Kansas City, Kansas, Saturday night. Her family says she was talking with a friend, 30-year-old Trevor Roth, inside the vehicle, even though they were parked outside and had the windows cracked. A detective told the family the vehicle had an exhaust problem and that killed them.
They had to tell me 3 times. They had to tell me 3 times when they came to the door, when the detective told us. They had to tell me 3 times that she was gone.
Carolyn Williams is survived by 2 young children, a 5-year-old girl and a 2-year-old boy. Her family has not told the kids yet about what happened to their mom. A Grain Valley man will spend more than 18 years in prison for raping a woman. 35-year-old Ryan Pedersen broke into a house wearing police-type clothing in 2015. And prosecutors say he was looking for a drug dealer. Instead, he found a young couple with kids. And investigators say he raped the woman while an accomplice held her husband and kids. A jury convicted him in January, and a judge today sentenced him to 18 years and 5 months in prison.
A former Kansas City postal worker is going to prison for hiding drugs in the mail. She's 64-year-old Carol Barfield, and she pleaded guilty to conspiring with a guy who was out in California. Authorities say that he would send PCP through the mail to addresses on a route, but she would intercept it and then deliver the drugs to different addresses. A judge today sentenced her to 3 years in prison. That man got 15 years behind bars.
New tonight, big approval today in Jefferson City for the planned UMKC Arts Campus in downtown Kansas City. The state Senate passed a bill that provides $48 million in state bonds to the project. The university raised another $48 million in private donations. The campus is planned to go near the Kauffman Center for the Performing Arts, and the bill now goes to the governor for his approval.
It might cost more for students to go to school in the University of Missouri system in the future. The MU system is proposing raising tuition by 2% for in-state students. So that means UMKC students would pay $192 more per semester. The hike would mean that students at Mizzou and Columbia would pay about $199 more a semester. The Board of Curators still has to vote on this next month. Now, also, students at Mizzou and Columbia on that campus will have some new policies later this year, starting June 1st. The school's going to ban any camping on campus. This is after those protesters camped out in November of 2015 over race relations on campus. Under the new policy, sleeping outdoors would be banned on campus from 10 p.m. to 8 a.m.
Stepping up to the plate, former professional athletes come together to help the family of a Metro police officer shot on the job.
And he's worked for Kansas City government since the 1960s. See the special honor he is getting before retiring. You're watching Fox 4 News at 6.
That's when people change a channel. No, you're right. I do need a paycheck. Can you add an extra commercial in?
Yeah, you don't want an ESPN.
Will you turn off your gnats? He said turn them off yourself. Just kidding. Does it sound better? No, he didn't say that. I'm just kidding. I almost got you in trouble with somebody. He said, give me his name, please. A minute and 30? That's going to be longer than my hit. Actually, how much time do I have?
New tonight, people are trying to raise money to help the family of that Independence police officer who was shot on the job last month.
Officer Tom Wagstaff is recovering at a rehabilitation hospital. Fox 4's Megan Dillard is live at the Eastside Baptist Church in Independence, where tonight's fundraiser just got started. Megan?
Yeah, tonight's fundraiser is a little bit different. We've seen a lot of things around the community for Officer Wagstaff, but this is a sports alumni autograph session. We're at Eastside Baptist Church. Now, the doors just opened so you can see people kind of mingling in, but what's happening here is you've got more than a dozen of the top names in sports across the last few decades. Football, baseball here in Kansas City and St. Louis. And an example right here, you can see the tables where the athletes are sitting. The folks come in, they purchase a ticket, and it's $10 per autograph. So you can bring your own item that you want to autograph. I saw somebody with a plate here earlier that they had a lot of signatures on, or you can get a card from the athlete that you are going to see and that you want to get the signature for at that table. But I'm joined now with Officer Virgil, and the thing behind this is really where the money is going. That's the part you wanted to drive home.
Absolutely. It's really important to know that we did set up a nonprofit account. It's called Answering the Call, and it's a fund that every single dollar goes to Tom Wagstaff and his family. So every dollar made here is going to go into that fund.
Well, and like we were talking before, it was the end of March that he was injured in the line of duty. The message here today is he's not forgotten. His recovery is not forgotten.
Sure. Tom every day is fighting hard, and he's a tough guy, and he's fighting for his life and improving his life. And this is us doing our part to make sure that we can help him with that.
Excellent, thank you. And you can do your part too and walk out with some cool autograph signatures, add to your collection if you want. They'll be here until 9 o'clock tonight at Eastside Baptist Church. We're live in Independence. Megan Dillard, Fox 4 News, working for you.
Tracking some incoming showers tonight and watching a wet mess on the horizon for the entire weekend. You're watching Fox 4 News. That's it.
with a microphone test. It is very loud in here, so I'm gonna need, yeah? Okay, I'm gonna need a go, a loud go, because it's loud in here.
Tonight on Fox 4 News at 10, women veterans put their lives on the line to protect our freedoms. A Fox 4 News investigation reveals more than half the VA hospitals in the country are missing a piece of equipment that could protect these women's lives. Watch our report that now has lawmakers asking tough questions tonight on Fox 4 News at 10.
The Kansas City Council today signed off on 2 different development projects. First, council members approved plans for Kansas City's first tiny apartments. The micro apartments would be built near 55th and Troost. Each apartment would rent for about $800 a month and have about 300 square feet. The developers hope to start construction this summer. The other project with the green light from City Hall is a hotel project for the Crossroads District. The council approved plans for a Hampton Inn. That'll be built at 16th and Main. It'll have 130 rooms. The developers hope to have that done in a couple years.
Also at the Kansas City, Missouri City Council meeting this afternoon, the council members honored a longtime city employee, a really long-time city employee. Carlos Valenciano has worked for the city of Kansas City for 53 and a half years. He's retiring. He started working with the city in the fall of 1963 in the finance department, and he retires as a senior analyst in the IT department. City Council presented him with a resolution today thanking him for his service. Kansas City will be celebrating the downtown streetcar system's first year in operation. The city is planning a celebration at Union Station May 6th. There will be games, food trucks, and cake. The party will run from 11 to 2.
Cake?